Hello world, welcome to the fourth video in my Christmas lights playlist, where I'm taking you through the whole process step by step of setting up your own light show using the Holiday Coro Hinks Pix Pro controller and the associated products. My channel is normally a Python programming channel where I'm building my own digital assistant named Shane, like Jarvis from the Iron Man movies and comics. And my eventual goal is to merge the two together, and after setting up a custom light show using these Holiday Coro products, that eventually I can intercept the light show and inject my own Python programming to make an interactive light show, which I haven't seen on YouTube before. So I hope you subscribe to my channel and like this video. So today we're going to be setting up the Snowflake. It's a 48 node or 48 LED snowflake from Holiday Coro. So we're going to buy three things today. The first is you go to this RGB prop Coro items, and we're going to go to snowflakes. Alright, so I bought this one right here, or I'm sorry. I bought this one right here. And then I bought the 24-inch, which is right here. This middle one right here. Alright. And then, so it was about $15. And the 24-inch uses a 50 count string. And it's recommending that we cut off the two remaining excess nodes. There's 3-inch spacing between it, and it works with smart ones, meaning individually addressable, or dumb ones. So I bought this one, the 24-inch one. So you click there, add to cart. And then we needed the bulbs. So you go here to the Pixel RGB lights, nodes, bullets. Now, if you've been following me along the whole time, you know that I bought the 12 voltage one. So let's go to 12 volts. And then I bought these ones. So these are square ones. I bought round ones. And it is a 50 node string. They're waterproof. They're 3-inch spacing. They're black. I put none because I'm using all Holiday Coro extensions and controllers. And I didn't use any unused ones because I have a couple from the first purchase I made. Alright, so that's the second thing I bought. And then if you go back, well, let's see if it's at the bottom here. No, I can't find it. But there is also a tools that I bought, and I bought these pliers right here, these bullet pixel node installation. So I bought these too because if this is going to be a serious hobby, I can already tell that trying to push the nodes through with your hands, it's going to get tough, especially when you're doing hundreds and hundreds. So I bought this pixel node pusher pliers. So to recap, I bought three things. I bought the Snowflake, 24-inch Snowflake. I bought the 50 smart 12 volt, 50 nodes lights. And then I bought these push pliers. So now let's cut over to where I actually, I show you what it came like and how to install the RGB lights. Alright, so once you receive the Snowflake, you'll get it in a big box like this. And then it will come in a smaller box like this, the lights that we bought. And this is what it looks like when you first get it. This is the Snowflake. It sheds a lot. It's cut directly into this Coro board, and it sheds just a lot from the holes it made. Here's the back of it. It says top and back. And then there's numbers with a pattern across it. So this indicates number 1, 2, and then it snakes throughout the whole thing. And this lets you know where to insert the lights that you bought. the LED lights. So you'll start at 1 and you'll go to 48. And if you remember, we bought one strand of 50, and so there will be 2 that aren't used, so you either have to cut them off and solder, or I'm going to try to cover them up, and we'll see how that works. So that's what the Snowflake looks like. This is how the lights come in right here. And so you look for the male side on the white tag, and the light that's on the very first one is node 1. And we'll see in xLights that when we find the Snowflake and import it into our layout in xLights, that all 50, or in our case 48, LEDs, you can program each one separately, so there will be 48 different nodes. And this is the first node, and you'll want to make sure this first node goes into the number 1 slot here. And you can just push it straight through and push it in, and it'll click in place right here. If this is going to be my hobby, I wanted to make sure I got the official pliers right here. These are the pixel push pliers that we bought, and you can use them to push the LED in or to come at from an angle and take them out. So I'm going to put all these LEDs inside the Snowflake in accordance with the diagram it shows. And then we'll go into xLights and set up our Snowflake into our layout. As I was editing the video, I realized that it would be value added to show what it looks like after you've installed all the LEDs. So here's what it looks like. Remember, you start at 1 and then you follow this wiring diagram. And just make sure that you actually follow the wiring, because between these long distance ones right here, you kind of have to stretch it out. That way you can continue the circle along. But there is a pretty good wiring diagram for you to show. I just zip tied these last 2 LEDs behind the board where I have it in my house. When I function test it, it wasn't that bad. But there are instructions on the website on how you can cut these 2 LEDs out and solder it back so you just have this normal connection. So I hope that helps explain how to wire this up, and now we'll get back to xLights. Alright, so we went through the Holiday Coro website, bought the items, we got the items, I just showed you what they look like, and now we're in xLights. So I already have my controller set up here. We did that in the first video, so make sure you've watched this whole playlist through. We have the layout. This is a picture of my house. Now I already have it connected, a Snowflake, but I'll show you how to do it in a second. So, and then we have the 3 flood lamps, which I showed in the previous video on my house. And then we have an empty sequencer for now. So when you're on the layout, ignore this Snowflake here. Let's pretend you don't have that. And you want to add that Snowflake in. So what we're going to do is go to this create new download. You have to push the button. Now watch, you see how that's highlighted there? I'm not a big fan of this template, but basically when you're holding this down, you can create something here. So what I tried to do was press it, do something, I don't know, it was hard. But anyway, so you click it, it'll gray out, and then you click anywhere and just draw anything you want. And then it'll bring up this screen right here, this window. Let's collapse it so you can see. And we have some preloaded information here. We're going to go to this Boss Koyo Studio LLC. There's no Hinks, Pix, or Holiday Coro that I know of, and I don't know how to find it. But anyways, you can go here. Under Christmas, so if yours is all collapse or uncollapse or like that, go ahead and collapse Christmas. And then you'll see a bunch of options here, all these different props. Go ahead and go to snowflakes. Go to 24-inch snowflake and find the 3-prong. And this is the one that I showed you inside the when I took it out of the box. So you go to Insert Model, and now we have our own snowflake. It's a new one. And now it's up here. So the first thing you want to do is you want to name it. Because if you have 10 of them, you kind of want to know which one's which. So like, for example, this one that I've already input, I put Snowflake 1. Now this is not where I'm going to keep my snowflake on the top of my house because it's only 24 inches. The model data, I skipped it, but you don't have to put anything in here. This shows you what it looks like. So if you remember, here was number 1, 2, 3, scroll down, 4, 5, 6. And this is just a node representation of what your snowflake looks like. Number of strings, you could just put 1, right? Assuming you bought the 50 LED strip that I bought. Hinks picks, go ahead and find your controller here, assuming you're using the Hinks picks. All right, you can scroll down. I didn't change anything with that. So the ports, if you remember, so I don't have mine plugged in, but if you visualize it, I have ports 33 and then 16 of those, so 48, I believe. Either way, you know what I'm saying. And so I would find, I already have this one, the floodlights hooked up to port 33. Then I have this one to port 34. So if I were to add another snowflake, I would add this to port 35. So you can go here and go 35. Unclick Use Smart Remote if yours did that. And then press Save. All right. Now you can see this one looks a lot bigger than that one in terms of pixels. So we can go back here. Oh, sorry. You go that. Change this to 35. In my case, assuming you bought the same as me. And now we can go to Appearance, right? And these pixel sizes right here are only 2. We can go ahead and change that to 5. And now we can see it much better. Okay, let me change mine back to 34. All right, now I save that. There you go. Now we can go to Sequencer. And let's go File, New Sequence, Animation, 20 frames per second. We can go here and adjust the timing. Let's make a minute so we have a bigger window. Done. There we go. So we have the floodlights, right? I have 3 floodlights. That I really have those. Then we have the snowflake that I bought. That's the one in the middle. And as you can see, like I showed you in the video when we were unboxing it, it has 48 nodes listed for you. So you can program every single node separately if you don't want to use the pre-made options here. And then same thing if we had two snowflakes, you have all these nodes as well. All right. So that's how you set it up. So I am going to delete this one actually. Go back to Sequencer. All right. And so now you can drag a, let's do on, and you can go into the whole strand, right? And now the whole strand will go white. And that is our show, right? It just stays white. That is an option. You can add some sparkles. Let's change it to red. Oops. Okay, let's play it now and see what it does. And then it does these cool little sparkles. So let's delete that. Stop this. All right, and then you can just do what I did and go through every single one and just really have fun with everything. Add a bunch of colors in it. Let's play this one. I like this one a lot. Right? It is, I believe this is the spiral effect. So it's spiraling through all the nodes. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the fan. Alright, that one's kind of cool. The galaxy one, this one's not as cool with just one snowflake, but it looks so cool when you have a bunch of other props and snowflakes and everything, and it just grows bigger and bigger. I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. But it'll just grow bigger and bigger. Through the end. Alright, and then once that's done, if you remember from my last video, you can either output it to lights and play it if you have yours hooked up to the Ethernet, or you can go to Tools, Hinks Pix Export, and export it to an SD card, and then you can play that SD card onto your controller, and we covered all that in my previous video. So there you go. That's how you put a snowflake into your layout in your xLights, program a sequence and everything. And I hope this helps somebody, and I look forward to showing you the finished product in probably another short coming soon. And thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.